and welcome to my latest live vlog update in regards to the channel in 2022. Another year has gone by, faster than I expected, in fact, a lot faster compared to 2021, especially the first half, that's for sure. And it's been a fun year, more fun games to play, more challenges to triumph, some not so fun challenges to get around, but overall, I'd say it was a pretty good year. Not as many games as covered as last year, but still fairly good. Like I mentioned in the brief, I'll first go over the channel stats, and then I'll do a short live Q&A session. So beginning with the channel stats, over 2022, my videos received 89.1k views and 8.4k hours of watch time, and 103 plus new subs. Thank you to all my new subscribers. This brings the total sub count to 1,432. Unfortunately, this means that I've received 17% less views and 26% less watch time compared to last year. This makes sense, as I definitely streamed less than last year, plus I focused a lot more heavily on Let's Tries. The new games I covered this year were the following: Aeon Drive, Fire Girl Hack and Splash Rescue, Wolfchild, Super Semi-Roll, Rockman X Dive, Eterna Noctis, Witchcrafty, Mighty Goose, the Henry Stickmin Collection, Danganronpa 2, Tinykin, Castlevanias 1 and 3, Demon Turf, Anuchard, Ninja, Pastigi, Ripper Repeat, Synergy, Tackle Firewood Gun the Game, X-Blade, Shuriken, Super Contra, Magmold Chapter Pepsi, and that's about it. As well as continuations of certain other titles like Make a Good 40-Hour Mega Man Level, and of course, the continuously running livestream series of Mega Man Maker. In terms of LP stuff, well, the new LPs I completed are Hinja, Reaper Repeat, Synergy, Pastigi, Tacklefire, Hexblade, Shuriken, Chapter Pepsi, Sicario Remastered, Super Contra, Lament of Innocence, and The Wizard and the Slug. Yeah, most of the LPs finished were for games that I streamed this year. Only really 3 of them were from stuff from last year. I'll work to rectify it next year, as we still haven't technically converted some of the we still haven't finished converting all the streams into an LP format. Danganronpa 1 and Oracle of Ages are still missing. I'll begin with Oracle of Ages next year. Now, as for my least favorites and favorites, let's work our way upwards and talk about my least favorite games. If you watch most of my streams, it should be fairly obvious. My 2 least favorite games of this year were Wolfchild and Witchcrafty. Wolfchild because it outright became unfair in the later part of the game, and one stage becomes unbeatable if you game over in it and try restarting there. And Witchcrafty because of how boring it is. I was going to list the number 3, but really, no other game comes close to it. Okay, maybe one of the Game Jam games does, but they're Game Jam titles, so it's kind of unfair to list them around the same category. Now, as for my 3 favorite games of the year, those would be the following: the Henry Stickmin Collection, Eterna Noctis, and on the top, Tinykin. I had a lot more games I enjoyed than the ones I didn't. Thank you, Key Games and other stuff. As for the game that was just the most existent, not counting the Game Jam games because, well, unfair comparison, that'd probably be Fire Girl, really. All the other games really left an impression on me in some way or another, or in a good way or a bad way, but Fire Girl is the one that kind of just existed for me. It started out nice, but then afterwards it kind of became plodding along, especially when comparing it to the other roguelite I covered this year, that being Orbital Bullet. Looking back at this year, on the last day of this year, it was certainly a bit of a slower year compared to last one, especially in terms of views and videos. But the main reason for that is because I covered a lot more Let's Tries and demos. Like, I did both of the Steam Next Fest along with Sage. And because the last Sage was so close to the next Steam Next Fest, that caused its own issues. So maybe next year I'll tone it down a bit, or I'll streamline the process there so I can bring out the Let's Tries faster. I think I spent a bit too much time with giving my overall thoughts at the end of each video, and that really slowed down the pipeline. And to clarify why Tinykin is my favorite, it's because it was such a polished 3D platformer with an adorable aesthetic, a very strong focus, a nice flow, and it didn't overstay its welcome. I do have some problems with it, like there are not enough challenges, optional challenges, and it could do with 1 or 2 more rooms, maybe as DLC, but otherwise it fit the bill. I try to knock this guess a second as much as I overall like the game, there are several major rough spots, like with distinguishing the background from the foreground, the undersea fortress, the penultimate stage in the clouds being too big for its own good and difficult to navigate without a map, and some of the challenges having some bouncing. But otherwise, I quite enjoyed this Metroidvania. The Henry Stickmin collection, combination nostalgia and how hilarious it was. Pretty much. If you were to ask me for number 4, it'd probably be either Mighty Goose or Demon Turf. Or Chapter Pepsi. Or Tackle Fire with Gun, maybe. It's a bit too close. As for what games I'll cover next year, as probably a few of you have that question, well, first off, I'll continue on with the games I currently am playing, that being Demon Turf, Mega Man Maker, etc, etc. Demon Turf will be finished early next year. First the final boss, then a bunch of the extras. I don't know if I'll get 100%, but I'll do the 100%ing off stream. Like, I'll do the extra challenges on stream, but for stuff like the time trophies, I'll reserve that for later. And yeah, Danganronpa is there too. I said continuation. Well, I must have misspoke there. I said continuation of other LPs. But yeah, that. Neon Splash is considered an expandalone, so that'll be treated separately. But we'll get to Q&A on that. Hang on a sec. So Demon Turf will be continued, Mega Man Maker will be continued, Danganronpa 2 will be continued, 48 Hour will be continued because I didn't finish the extra content. When I get the chance, probably after I finish the main game with Demon Turf, I'll get around to finishing Revenge of Shinobi, Sylveon's requested game, as well as Parodius on the NES, which is Vacuum's requested game. And then after that, in terms of key games, well, I'll try slotting in 1 or 2 key games before March, where I'll have a vacation later that month. And then when I return in May, June, I'll begin my live streaming series of Genshin Impact. I'm hoping to get Cow the Kangaroo up and running eventually, as well as Saints Row 4, of course. the unpresident-elected version, because that's buggy. And perhaps do Shovel Knight too, as that's been pushed back too many times. I really want to get at least Shovel of Hope done. But in any case, those are my rough thoughts. Here's to hoping 2023 is as good or better as 2022. So, I now pass the questions on to you, viewers. Ask me almost anything. It is time for the live Q&A session. Let's see. Already answered your first question, Jaden, and your second. Happy New Year to you, YouTube. YouTube asks, do I have a favorite Fortress boss from Mega Man? If we don't count the Wily Machines, I don't know exactly. They'd likely be either picked from Mega Man 4 or Mega Man 7. Or 9. What were my favorite Sage 2022 demos? Let's take a quick look. It's been a while and I kind of forgotten about many of the titles I covered for Sage. But, let's bring it up. Oh wow. I covered 21 demos during last Sage, yikes. That's a lot more than I expected. Alright, favorite demos there were of course Mega Man, Shattered Diamond, Dono's Tale, Lunistis, and Typhoon Unit, Butterfly Requiem. Those are my 4 favorites. Oh yeah, Lunistis, that's the game I was thinking of. I will also do a Let's Play of Lunistis. Thank you. Gameplay loop, yeah, I'll have to look more into that. Lack of direction, for what I've seen, it's sufficient for me. But yeah, your mileage may vary. Some people preferred more guided tours, or guided playthroughs. Sure, Jaden. I will note that for Anichard, it kind of feels like they knew that they wouldn't have enough budget or enough time to actually flesh out part of the story. As it feels like there was a missed opportunity in terms of talking about people getting corrupted and some of the horrifying acts that happened in Kunlun City. That's why we had 2 Guardians there instead of the usual 1. Like, I think I'm gonna say right now this is speculation, pure speculation, but I believe that there was supposed to be, or there could have been, one more part of Anuchart itself that we could have explored before the final dungeon. And that's where we would try rescuing or talking about the various underclass criminals and other disaffected people who either fled from the orchard, Kandan City, the desert, either due to the war or due to a lack of resources. I wish we had something like that. Then that giant rooster's criticisms of the Anuchardians would be even more poignant. And of course, an actual final dungeon. Anyways, next question, also by YouTube. Is there a Mega Man game or fan game I don't like? Yeah, several. My least favorite Mega Man fan game, as I made apparent, is Rockman R, Dr. Wily's Counterattack, which I LP'd in 2019 And it's still in the back burner of whether I'll make it into LP format because yikes, that's going to require a ton of editing. Otherwise, you'll see 80% of the playthrough consists of deaths and repeating stuff, and not in a fun way. As for Mega Man game, that'd be X6 and X7 to a lesser extent. For the mainline classic series, there isn't really a number title that I dislike. Well, maybe 9, but that's not really. I don't know. Revenge of the Fallen is one of those games I wanted to get back to because it's an interesting time capsule of its time, and it did influence design of some of the Magmal stages. Because I do want someone else to take another shot at something like Revenge of the Fallen. Probably would have to be more in the Metroidvania format. Of course, a lot of the design in Revenge of the Fallen can be accomplished in Mega Man Maker now, but So what about X6? Sylveon asks. Least favorite game of the X series, and the mainline franchise, really. I dislike it more than Zero Two actually, and Battle Network 4. Let's see. Raccoon asks, did I play the Fetch the Ferret demo stream? Unfortunately, I didn't get enough time to solve that, to get around to it. Jaden asks, what was my favorite Steam Next Fest demos of this year? There were 2 Steam Next Fest this year, so wait, were there 2? How many were there exactly? I need to check. I just want to make sure. Okay, there's a February. June. October. Never mind. I need to correct my earlier statement. There were actually 3 Steam Next Fest this year. Combined with Sage, yeah, that bit off a lot of time for the channel. More than I expected than last year. Alright. Maybe I should split the Steam Next Fest playlists into different years. Alright, what was my favorite one this year? Okay, I have about 46 choices. Let me give you some visuals so you can see what I'm seeing. Alright, here's my visual. Yeah, these are all the games I played this year for the Steam Next Fest. Well, there's one exception, but I'll get to that. Yeah, it pretty much bumped everything. Oh boy. It's gonna be kind of difficult because when I did the Steam Next Fest, especially with the Steam Next Fest, I tried my best to feature games which I thought would be interesting. So it resulted in there being a lot of good picks, which is a good problem to have actually. Let's see, let me divide it into two halves. For the first half of the year, my favorites would have been Cow the Kangaroo, Mini Shoot Adventure, Eldoran, Mago, Soldiers, Tinykin. Shame this turned out. It's funny how Soldiers and Tinykin turned out. They went in completely opposite directions. I will get around to playing Soldiers to at least say what went wrong with it. So yeah. At least Tinykin went developed very well. Mini Shoot was a hidden gem. Power Princess is not that good. Also Curse Crackers. Berserk Boy was great. It felt like a much faster paced version of ZX games. Last Command as well. Gunbrella. And Gravity Circuit and the Night Witch. For many of these games, I will play their full versions. And if I don't buy them this month, don't worry, I may purchase them in the future when the price decreases further. So those are my list. Let's catch up with the messages. You didn't like most of the supporting cast of Anichar, Jaden. I don't really agree with that. Like, I actually like most of the supporting cast of the game. There are certain figures which I find, more concerning, especially when you get to Kanlan. But I think it's more due to a lack of development more than that. With most of the citizens of the Orchard and the Animal Kingdom, I like them. Like, they didn't do enough to make me dislike them, really. Maybe with the only exceptions probably being the Prez, the citizens of the Kanlan City, and the Chief. But even the Chief has a Freudian excuse. Will I cover the thing when you deck 6? I'm thinking about that. X5, X5 is technically my second or third favorite X game in the series, but I agree it's kind of messy. I get what they're trying to do, but hmm. Hmm. Anyways, here's the list of all the LPs I have, in case you want a quick way to jump through them, as well as all the upcoming ones. I'm probably going to be playing with a mod that fixes that problem at the very least. Ready isn't really the biggest problem. Alrighty. To answer your question, Pixel, it being sold is not really the worst thing the game does. Problem at X7, it wasn't because 3D, it was because of many different problems. Mega Man and Base, I still technically... Mega Man Base is still technically like, so yeah. I mean, for birthday games, for frequenters and mods, I'll be happy to cover fan games, as long as they don't violate other rules. Alrighty, let's see. Did I see more messages? I don't know about that, YouTube. Princess Peach never fought back in any games or movies. I think she did in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show and some of the SMB cartoons. So I need more information there. Alright, Tulipadio, what do you think of making a marathon of Mega Man X in the future? Well, I plan on doing all the numbered classic games plus Mega Man Base, and then the X series, and then Zero, and the ZX, and Legends, etc. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to beef up the moderation a little bit later on, but yeah. With the classic series, I know better what to expect. Like there's there'll be more consistency there with the level design and how much I like the games. But once you get to the X and Zero series, let's just say how much I like the games and what I perceive their qualities to be will be more varying. Ever play Hyper asks, ever play Command Mission? If so, how do you like it? I never play Command Mission. I watched some gameplay of it. It looks neat. Alright, any other questions? The sad thing is, X6 and beyond fixed Alia. Um, well, to answer your latest question, YouTube, about Mega Man and Base's rivalry being kind of cliche, well, it's a tried and true trope used in many different media, especially shonen stuff. So you can't say it's cliche, but I don't really mind it. It depends on its execution. Least favorite Fortress boss? Hmm, probably the Boo Beams. Really, two of the Fortress bosses in Mega Man 2. 1 and 2 really suffer from first game in the series itis. One, because first game. Second is they developed it in their spare time and begged for it to become a official thing. 3 as well. 3 could have been like 4, but was rushed and was released in an obvious beta-like state. It's embarrassing. Being able to slide really fixed the Yellow Devil encounter in terms of difficulty. Alright, any other questions? Will I return to 8-Bit Deathmatch's campaign? Pixelboy asks. Yes. Yes, I will. Especially now that I got a new and better mouse. Let's see, I need to clear up my schedule. Okay, how about this? Let's finish Demon Turf, main game, plus maybe some of the extras. Sylveon's birthday pick. Well, Sylveon's last year birthday pick, plus Vacuum's last year pick. And then we'll return to 8-Bit Deathmatch. Favorite version of the devil? YouTube asks. The Mega Man 11 version? And perhaps Shadow Devil from X5. Does 8-Bit Deathmatch support gamepad? I guess it does? Yeah, Yellow Devil Mach Tree. I think that's who they are. FYI, I played ZX many years ago. I never played ZX Advent. Lepadio asks... Oh, hey, hang on. Hyper asks, least favorite devil. Probably the first one? I don't hate them as much as some other people do. But not having slide... Be right back. Back. There. Let me catch up on the messages. Excuse me. Need more speed. Oh yeah, the Mega Man 9 Twin Devil. Sorry about that. I mean... Alright, answering Zapani's question, do I intend to keep playing the People's Level packs on evening streams? Yes. Thank you, Hunter, for the compliment. Really appreciate it. I know what you're referring to, Sylveon, but for that boss, not having slide isn't that bad. It's not as bad as Mega Man 1's Devil. The reason being is because one of the devils is always suspended in air. One is always above the other one. They're not always on the same ground level. That's what makes one some of the hardest ones. What makes the devil, what makes Yellow so difficult in the first one is, well, it's the first game, kind of rough with detection. Plus, you're on the ground level. plus no slide. Uh, which game are you referring to? I don't remember the exact names of the bosses from the second half of the series. Oh, you mean the one that's based off a devil encounter in Pico Pico Con? You have sliding there. Yeah, he is one. They are one of the more difficult ones, but I still find them less. I like I like them more than the one in one. One of the other problems with the devil encounters usually is that they're repetitive. They repeat the same pattern over and over and over without variation. And at least has some more variety. The gr the green goo devil from the intro boss from Mega Man Base, definitely the easiest iteration. YouTube asks, what would happen if hypothetically Mega Man and Mega Man X were to switch places? Well, X wouldn't really have that tough of a time, but after dealing with the threats, he'd immediately go straight to Dr. Light and ask him about a lot of questions, and then work on building a time machine. Classic Mega Man, depending on where and when he switches places with X, may run into difficulties or a huge amount of trouble. Not having the ability to wall jump is killer, unless he has his full weapon set. But he too would work on building a time machine, or try finding the ruins of the Kronos Institute, and also ask a lot of questions. Jaden asks, what has to be my favorite sequence from each year of your favorite games this year? Let's see. Um, Going from the bottom to top, with the Henry Stickmin collection, well, the majority of the final game, completing the mission, but especially the JoJo sequence, that was fun. For my turn in Noctis, um, the outer space section. But if you want to, if you wish to be more specific, the fire escape and the escape from chaos. And for Tinykin, generally the gameplay flow was pretty solid, so I can't point to an exact scenario which was my favorite, because the overall experience was great. Um, I'll have to mull over it more of what my favorite room is. Probably would be the bathroom or the toy room. Thank you to everyone watching the Q&A session. Like I said, it depends on where X and the Classic switch places. If they're in a base, like the Maverick Hunter base, they'll be relatively safer. But if they're out in the field, Classic has some issues. Oh, you mean Ardwin. I was getting confused. I'm interested in Demon's Crest for a SNES, slash Sal asks. If people want me to play it, I suppose. Distraction Dance was a meme. That was also a nice, memorable moment. The twist with Aldwin was building up to that point. I remember that moment, Sylveon. Hyper asks, what's my favorite version of Sigma? As in, favorite battle form? Um, X4 or X5s. I like the Reaper version in the heads, and in X5, the sense of finality. The first Distraction Dance. I mean, we knew it was going to be kind of a darkish twist because people disappeared. Happy New Year to you, Delta. Happy New Year to you too. But yeah, in addition to Cal 2022, I will want to play at least one or two more 3D action platformers. Other than, well, other than Neon Splash, that is. I know Lunasis will be one of them. Slash asks, do I have any favorite soundtracks in all Mega Man games? Overall soundtracks, I really like 7's soundtrack. And in the X series, I like X4 and X2 soundtracks the most. Sylveon asks, favorite Pokemon game slash fan game? Um, the only Pokemon game I played was Emerald, so I guess that's that. And I never played any Mon fan games. Well, other than Pokemon Tower Defense. Indeed, YouTube. Here's hoping that 2023 will be a good year. Like I said, I'll streamline my process for doing the Let's Tries for the games so I can get through them faster. This will be especially important when February rolls around and we have the next Steam Next Fest to worry about. Like, speed up my reviews, make it more feeling based, don't be so analytical, save those for the final game. I will also have a Game Jam game a section too, as that was also fun. I did like Hexblade and Shuriken, for instance. Hyper Megaman asks, what do I think about the Mega Man NT Warrior anime? Alright, I watched the dub version, so I watched up to the point when they defeated Dr. Regal and his giant mech for the first time, I believe. That's when they introduced that's in the Cross Fusion arc. After that, they stopped airing it, so I thought it was okay, decent. The first season had an issue with focus, but after the first tournament arc and Mega Man getting deleted, that's where things got kicked up to higher gear. My favorite arc was probably the arc before the Cross Fusion, as well as the Cross Fusion season. YouTube asks, outside the Mega Man series, what video game do I play the most currently? Deep Rock Galactic, Rock and Stone. Yeah, Ghost Stories English dub is legendary. Gag dub. On that note, I also recommend Samurai Pizza Cats. Its dub is also pretty good. Do I like the DKC Country series? Furthest Lepedu asks. Yeah, I like it. Do I intend to bring it to the channel? Only if people ask. Only if enough people ask. It's under the same scenario as Oracle of Ages. I mean, currently, the multiplayer games I play the most are Deep Rock Galactic, Vermintide 2, and some TF2, aka Team Fortress 2. YouTube asks, what is my opinion on The Simpsons? It was better in the early seasons. Sylveon Chan asks, Hotel. Nope, not Hotel Mario. You're not the first one to ask about that, Lepadio. Jaden also asked a bit about that, but it seems like they'll be requesting before the sequel. So there's that. Cleveland? Not interested in either. If I had to recommend something around there, it'd be close enough. RIP. There are a bunch of games I do wish to play. In fact, let me just show you again. Several of you already have seen it on stream, but I might as well show it again. What's the name of it? Alright, here we are again. Hang on, wait. Alright. As I showed earlier, here is the full list of games I desire to play on the channel in one form or another. Yeah, I went through it really fast, but that's basically it. This is one of the things I'll ask about you viewers later. And maybe two of the voting gauntlets, I'll provide a list of games on the on this document, and you can vote to pick which one I'll play next. To answer YouTube's question, I haven't watched Bob's Burgers. Well, outside of one episode in particular, but that was a special case. But Patty asked, do I like GTA games? I never played any GTA games. The closest thing I played was Saints Row 3, which was fun. Yeah, a lot of stuff here that I want to eventually get to. Also, here's the full list of games I own on stuff like on different platforms, like here on the Epic Game Store and here on Steam. Oh wait, I need to fix this. Let me refer. There we go, that's the full list I have. There's still some shuffling I need to do and changing of the titles because I copied it directly off of Steam. But yeah, that's my list. That is incorrect, YouTube. None of the GTA games are adult only. There was the case of GTA 4 and the hot coffee scandal, but otherwise, they're M-rated. A quick Google check will verify. A quick search on Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, or whatever your preferred search platform is, well, you can check it that way easily. Yeah, that's a lot, Silent. It only grows if people keep asking. And yeah, this is... Alright, maybe in the future, I'll provide this list of the games I own on EGS, and then you can vote and pick one from here. The reason why I don't wish to allow you viewers to pick from this enormous list is because I don't own all the games on this list. I own all the games here, but not here, and I don't wish to be on the hook and be forced to purchase a game earlier than I expect. But yeah, this is As always, I'm still open to suggestions. I may not cover a game, but I appreciate it. In fact, let's see. Well, no, actually. The game I played the most last year was technically Rockman X Dive, but that's more because of idling. In fact, let me stream that too. Why not? It's kind of public anyways. No? Alright, I fixed it. My Steam Replay 2022. Of course, because of idling. Bear Trauma, Other Multiplayer. And Deep Rock Galactic. I love that game. If I were to put that on the list of games I've played on the channel, it'd be up there number 3. Yeah, I never realized I played most of the games that were new releases. In general, I prefer to play games that are Metroidvanias, platformers, and roguelites. and the roguelites. And apparently I played the most in August. Oh, multiverses. Figures. And this is when I played a lot of Barotrauma. FYI, this is incorrect. I played this game with the mouse mainly. A nice view of all the games I played. Oh yeah, Contra Killer is a special case because that was a co-op LP. Here's to in the future, I'll play more of these co-op LPs with Mega Team Up and other channels. Future LP. It was certainly a year better than the last one, IMO. And went by faster than I expected. In any case, thanks for attending this live vlog plus Q&A session. 2022 was certainly something. Here's to hoping the next year is at least as good as this one. Thank you all for being such wonderful viewers on the channel. It's because of your continued support, watching, comments, subscribing, etc. why I can continue to produce new content for the channel. It's really, really appreciated. So, as always, if you're enjoying this or any other piece of content featured on this channel, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help it out. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Mastodon, and co-host as well, and join our Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play. Happy New Year!